James, how did you know Rob Reiner?
I knew Rob Reiner because at a very, very down point in my career, Rob literally saved my career and really put me back on track in a way that was so important and rewarding in my life. And he really fought for me when the studio didn't want me in a movie. I was 32 years too young for the part, but he really believed that I was right and could do it. It was something that virtually nobody agreed with except one of his partners, Martin Schaefer, who was the head of Castle Rock and one of the greatest production companies ever. And we did Ghosts of Mississippi together, and I went from really being basically out of a job to getting an Academy Award nomination, and I give all the credit to Rob.
All right.
You know, I watched this last night. It went on for over 11 minutes. It was insufferable watching James Woods with his nonstop, because a guy gave him a job in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. This changes all of their political dynamics. He didn't give a shit what Rob's politics were by the end. You know, he said we have these discussions and everything. I was ready to throw up from fucking James Woods. No, I swear to God. I mean, he's batshit fucking crazy. He goes on there, a guy gave me a job, so that negates everything that's ever going to happen in the history of Hollywood.
Okay.
But I mean, he was speaking for everybody in Hollywood. I guarantee, you know what I'm saying? He's not talking out of school. That's how the machine works, Eric.
Okay. Well, I mean, in fairness, maybe 11 minutes is too long, but there is a personal side and then there's another side. And if he said, hey, the guy was good to me and, he's a friend, it's kind of like Adam Carolla has to really struggle with Jimmy Kimmel because they're best friends, right? And you cannot think of a bigger douche on the planet than Jimmy Kimmel.
How about Seth Rogen versus James Franco? I mean, you could go down the line.
Separated.
No, there's a million of these. I mean, what does it have to do with what happened with this incredible bloodthirsty crime? I got to hear about Jimmy Woods' career from the Ghost of Mississippi. I mean, it's just. I just want to tell you this: when they started to cover it, when it first happened, all they did was go directly to his movies, and they were laughing and giggling. The bodies were still in the house. Local news was going, I loved When Harry Met Sally. Ha 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 ha. And I'm going like, holy shit. It's worse than I could possibly imagine, the insipidness and shallowness of Hollywood. This was like a new low for me.
No, I didn't know there was a bottom.
No, I thought there was, but now they've reached another bottom. Oh, dear God. Jimmy Woods talking about the Ghost of Mississippi.
Well, we got the other bottom there. Apparently, the Obamas were supposed to be seeing them that evening.
Yeah, it reminds me of the story of Jerzy Kosinski, the famous novelist who was an old friend of mine. He got to Kennedy Airport. He'd flown into from Europe. He was Polish, but he was in Europe doing something. And they lost his luggage. He was supposed to make the connecting flight at JFK to go to LAX to be at the Sharon Tate dinner that night with Jay Sebring and everyone else. And he missed being, again, butchered in Hollywood by a flight mishap.
Wow. Speaking of which, that circles back to James Woods.
Yeah.
Because didn't James Woods not get on the flight, or he's a witness to literally one of the hijackers on a flight in New York with 9/11, or somehow he's tied in with
that. I don't know, but James Woods is a little nutty. I'll just put it that way.
He is. He's also a genius too, so maybe they go together. He's like the Spectrum.
Yeah,
times a billion. Yeah. I will say that he does. He really likes Megyn Kelly. If you ever watch him with Megyn Kelly, it's kind of like
he's a freak. Oh, he's a freak. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. The guy's a freak. But getting back to the Obamas, it is an odd thing that she then went on a talk show and said that last night. Obviously, they were in town for this thing to meet over there, but. This wouldn't be the first CIA connection for Rob Reiner, as I pointed out. I mean, you're talking about the group that was formed by Rob Reiner to investigate Trump's connection to Russia, all filled with CIA people who were on his board of advisors. I forget the name of the organization right now that he formed to investigate the Russia, which eventually became the Russia hoax. But this was the committee to investigate Russia's interference in the 2020 election or something, and filled with spooks, right? So the spooks, everybody's in it. Brennan's in it, Clapper's in it. They're all on this board with him, right? Now, what happens? He does this JFK podcast, Eric, and I'm going like, okay, that's kind of weird. Out of the blue, hooks up with David Russell, the book author, not David O. Russell, the screenwriter, the director. But he hooks up with Russell and begins to get this other guy on board, former CIA guy, then brings on John Brennan, who goes to dinner with him. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see the names that he comes up with at the end of this multi-month podcast. He comes up with Jack Cannon, Herminio Diaz Garcia, John Surratt, and Charles Nicoletti as the shooters. But I'm not even talking about that giveaway thing at the end. What I'm talking about is his admission that his advisors on the project were both Pompeo and John Brennan, plus this cat. If you scroll up, there was another former CIA guy who wrote the script for him, along with Dick Russell. I'm sorry, not David Russell, Dick Russell. I forget the guy's name, but he was also former CIA. The point of the matter is, the guy is surrounded by spooks, which leads me to the story that Moby said and other celebrities said when Trump got reelected, that they turned their social media over to Central Intelligence Agency. Rob Reiner's, the sheer volume of Rob Reiner's posts indicated to me that he was one of these celebrities, because the timestamps are so insane, Eric. They're 24/7 timestamps. He's not doing this. Somebody's doing this for him. And like Moby and other celebrities, he apparently, in my opinion, turned over his social media to this intelligence project run by the CIA. Moby admitted such in an interview, and others have admitted it as well. The night that Trump is reelected, his entire social media disappears. Everything he ever wrote, he was let off the hook. He didn't have to do the job anymore. And he checked into a drug and alcohol rehab. Now you've got father and son in rehab, right? Now you've got the father admitting, I had to go to rehab. Now they put out this bullshit PR spin story.
TDS.
Yeah, no, TDS or whatever he had. But there's no one in my anecdotal history, and this is anecdotal, but it's large, who's ever checked into a drug and alcohol facility without having a drug and alcohol problem. And then I'm extending that to eating disorders too. But
that makes sense, because, I mean, first off, it would be an insult to them and to a treatment program. You've got to treat people for a condition. It would be like, it would be like going into a knee treatment facility for a heart condition. It's not appropriate.
Well, it's not a resort is the problem.
Yeah.
He made it sound like, his PR people made it sound like, and keep in mind, this is just a year ago to this couple of weeks. This was at the end of November 2024. He said, I need rest and relaxation. Rehab is not rest and relaxation.
Yeah, there are places for that.
Right, but rehab is not one of them.
Go to a retreat.
Right. Rehab is not one of them. It's quite tense, quite anxiety provoking, people breaking down, sobbing, people trying to slash their wrists. I mean, everything you can imagine, people hooking up, people relapsing, goes on. It's a dirty, nasty, rotten business. Some are great, some are bad. They're like restaurants. There are good restaurants and there are bad restaurants. I'll just leave it at that. His kid went to 17, 18, 19 of them from the age of 15 on. Now, that was covered by Obamacare until the age of 26. Now he's 32. So I don't know. Most kids of these wealthy families or regular families who have Obamacare coverage get to go to rehab until they're 26. And that's usually, now you're on your own, Jimmy. Then they start freaking out when they're 25. Again, I've experienced this repeatedly with 25-year-old repeat rehab people who freaking live in rehabs, Eric, because they're basically homeless. And I mean luxury rehabs. They get in there under Obamacare and they go from one rehab to the next. And this is all over the country. It's happens more often in Southern California, but nevertheless, this kid, Nick, who has been on podcasts high as a kite with other drug-friendly podcasters, bragging about what drugs they're on, how he destroyed the guest house in his parents' backyard, eventually ends up on the cheapest, most affordable, accessible drug, which is crystal meth. And that's where he ended up in his crime spree and also his violence. Last night, or the night before when he was arrested, that was out of luck. He had fled the premises. He went to South Central to cop, and he ran into a sting operation that was looking for illegal aliens around USC, the campus.
Yeah, it was odd that he got arrested by U.S. Marshals. It's like,
yeah,
why are marshals there?
U.S. Marshals who were staking out USC, which is overrun with illegal aliens from China and other nefarious people. But nevertheless, he made a beeline from this super expensive hotel in Santa Monica down to South Central, which tons of kids have done, tons of drug addicts have done over the years here. And he's covered in blood. He's trying to cop. He's got money. And he stumbles into this thing. How he escaped the house, how he was not a suspect, how there was no APB, how there was no name, how there was no even acknowledgement that there was a homicide is something that is so bizarre, even by LAPD standards, Eric.
Now, I'm just catching up now, but from what I understand, they may have been killed not long after they went home. Like they had the conflict at the party, went home, went to bed.
How would we
know? And it's starting to come out. Well, it's been reported recently.
By the 7th hour after the phone call at 8 o'clock at night, they still couldn't find the county coroner. How would we know when a county coroner showed up at the Chateau Marmont when Bellucci was dead within 27 minutes? When the Menendez brothers did what to their parents, when the OJ thing, the county coroner shows up with these people. Noguchi showed up with the ambulances. He would show up because he didn't want the crime scene tampered with.
Well, yeah, that's SOP.
Right.
In general, not just there, and I mean it's not unique to the past. Many places are that way.
I agree. They couldn't find this guy. 8 hours in, they're waiting for a search warrant to go into the house. Meanwhile, Larry David, he went into the house. Billy Crystal went through the house. The celebrities are going through the house, identifying the bodies. I mean, it's the craziest series of facts I've ever heard in a high-profile murder case in L.A.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then revealed in the presser, which went off the rails. The presser went off the rails the second it started. But one revelation in the presser, which I was talking to a retired division chief afterwards, they did not acknowledge the complete destruction and elimination of the homicide division of LAPD. At the end of the press conference, somebody asked him if it was going to be handled by homicide, and he was forced to say, as of November 1st, there is no longer a homicide division in Los Angeles Police Department. It's the only city in the country that has that, the only major city now without, no press release, nothing on the website. November 1st came and went. They rolled in whoever was left into robbery homicide, which usually deals with robbery homicides,
which was an elite division. I mean, robbery homicide was kind of like the elite division.
No. I'm saying robbery homicide deals with robbery and homicides. There was a separate homicide division of LAPD, and
like Hollywood homicide and others.
One factoid that came out of it: LAPD no longer has a homicide division, and I know this is hard to explain to people. Especially some knuckleheads out here, they go, dude, it's robbery homicide, separate division. It's been there for 50 years, nothing to do with this. They rolled whoever was left. This is because of staffing and defunding. 1,300 cops were let go.
Yes, and no, the police aren't coming to see Mark. The neighbors are having construction. I see in the chat already.
Welcome, autistic people. Eric and I, before the show, said, who are the first autistic people who are going to be to get into the chat to say, I can't live with myself any longer? Apparently this guy.
Anyway, one thing I do want to say is there is a definite possible parallel here on the JFK front to the past.
Yeah.
This story may mirror the Dorothy Kilgallen story in the sense that he uncovered the 4 murderers about 16 months before he died. They're obviously not related.
Well, I didn't make that connection, but
no. But I've been already reading, people saying, "Hey, he did something on JFK, and now he's dead. Look at that."
Guess who was coming over? Is getting back to the original point of your story.
Mm-hmm.
The Obamas were coming over. Nobody has more CIA around him than Obama.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's being comfortable at home. I do think I could see them being over there because of the deals with Netflix. I don't know if in the background, if Rob Reiner was involved with the production and with them. And I mean, he's obviously a bundler, very strong support of the Democratic Party. I think by all accounts, he worked with them. So it's not completely surprising that they would be there, but
never been there before. Never been there before.
Really? Okay. So it's mildly surprising.
Again, I don't want to go the full conspiracy route, but there's so many freaking dots here. It would be negligent for us to avoid them completely and not mention them, Eric.
Well, and we did. I mean, definitely.
I mean, we were talking about Death by Lightning last week, the Michael Shannon Garfield assassination movie, and there is a psycho in that movie who is the assassin, and he's completely crazy, and he's being steered by people who want to get rid of Garfield. It's not the first time this has happened in American history. This kid was out of control.
True. But I mean, with all your experience and all that, I mean, there are other kids who have done the exact same thing on the crystal meth.
I don't know any of them that cut their parents' throats from ear to ear. This is like Menendez level. I got to get the money, and we're going to take out the mother as well. Their beef was with their father, or his beef, or their beef was with the father. To go back, the mother was collateral damage by their own admission, Eric, to prevent the mother from inheriting the money. Premeditated murder to get money. This thing here, we're going to see what happens, because initially they put the bail at $4 million. He was about to walk out of jail yesterday. And then the same judge got contacted, I assume, by DA Hochman, and bail was revoked.
Yeah, I heard that the family contacted because the sister is terrified of him.
So somebody has hired a top-notch lawyer, and the lawyer
Alan Jackson, who also
the lawyer will not admit or discuss who has hired him to the press this morning.
I saw that, and I just want to say the lawyer, I believe, was on the Karen Reed case, which is very famous as of late. Also worked with other people, very, very high-powered. This is he worked for Elon Musk, I think, too. I mean, he's big-time lawyer.
The point of the matter is, this kid is going to have the best legal representation, just like Mangione in New York, for executing the healthcare executive. This kid's an orphan now. I think the court must take that into consideration, Eric.
True. And somebody already made that joke earlier.
Yeah.
In the chat, but
no. But the point is,
saying that even with that, I could see a family member saying, "Please, please, don't do that with the bail. We're terrified of the guy," and the family may not be in 100% lockstep.
How about the Menendez brothers, where the family said, "Please, please, let us out. We love them so much. These brothers have to be released." How about the reverse?
Well, I agree. At least they've been in prison for about 30, 40 years.
Yeah. But it was the family.
I
most of the time, it's the family that does this.
Well, and you've talked about that, I think, in the show yesterday. Mark did a whole thing with What's Up with Lord Buckley, and you talked about codependency and problems with this. Do you want to go into it?
No, yeah. I mean, it's usually intertwined. That's why I mentioned Rob Reiner going to rehab. Every time we ever had a family day at rehab, the parents will show up, point the finger at the kid, but the drug counselors know better. They know that addiction is a family disease and that others in the family are more than likely addicted to substances. The parents always deny it. The kid will call it out and say, "My dad is an alcoholic, my mother is a pillhead." And they'll go, "No, we're not," and get into a fight with them. That's the family visiting day theme usually. because it's not an isolated disease. It usually runs within the family, and people in the comment section, people who follow this know that it's not just a one-off that some teenage kid becomes a crackhead and there's no other addiction in the family.
I mean, that makes sense. And maybe this is a terrible example, but my father was a chain smoker and I was a chain smoker.
Oh, it's still addiction.
And I hated my dad being a chain smoker, and I criticized him and mocked him and said all the nasty shit, and then picked up the habit myself for a long time.
Well, this kid wanted to kick or detox or recover at home. He refused to go to rehab for the 29th. Now, I know people have gone for 22 times. I know a guy went 28 times. I don't want to mention any names, celebrities who have gone 28, 30 times before they got it and now sober 25 years. You get it when you get it. But not everybody has the luxury to go to $100,000 a month rehab for 22 times. You know what I mean? The insurance will cover it up until a point. That being said, the kid, this massive knockdown fight that they had at Conan O'Brien's house was over Rob trying to get him out of the house. He'd already trashed the guest house. And they keep in mind, these guest houses in West LA would be the equivalent of Eric's house, entire house that he lives in Virginia. And it's just in the backyard. So he was, it's a Cato Kalin house. They're just living in the backyard in this house. He destroyed that. He was bragging about that on a podcast called Dopey. And he also didn't want to go to rehab again. And the father and him had a fight at Conan's.
What's the podcast name?
Dopey.
Dopey. Oh, yeah. That sounds like a winner.
Oh, no, they're all on drugs. The whole podcast is about dope. They're all mocking and getting
so it's
laughing.
Celebrating it?
Yes, absolutely. I played a clip from it yesterday on my show. You can hear it on. I played a couple of minutes of it because he comes on laughing about what drugs he's on. They're laughing because they're on drugs. Yeah, it's on YouTube. What's the big problem? They don't get demonetized. They have a show.
No, we will in a second, though. Yeah. Dare we say something about self-harm, non-intentional, just reporting a fact of history? Oh, my God.
But nevertheless, the fight at Conan's Christmas party was over Rob demanding that he go back into treatment. Now, he had been homeless in Texas. He was homeless in New Jersey. He was homeless in Maine. This guy's been on the road for years, and not to mention that film, Becoming Charlie, or Being Charlie, where that came out in 2016. That happens all the time. Two guys in rehab write a script and they want to make a movie as soon as they get out.
Yeah, and it helps if dad is a major director that could get it greenlit on his own. Yeah, I don't know. That is
the situation is that Rob Reiner apologized to his son, and the mother apologized to his son because they believe the experts instead of their drug addicted son. You want to talk about codependency and enabling an intertwined, no boundaries between the parents and the kid. The mother said she was hoodwinked because these people had diplomas.
Oh, I know. I think I saw that, and they made the premise that they believe the doctors who said the kid was just lying to them and conning them. It's like, meanwhile, he was lying to them and conning them probably every step of the way. Because, okay, you told me an anecdote or a joke about, it might have been you, about a drug addict versus a drunk. Like about keys. Can you tell me that joke, because I think it's
it's an alcoholic will lose his wallet and a junkie will take your wallet and then help you try to find it. And it's the difference between an alcoholic and a junkie. It's an old rehab joke.
But I think it's illustrative, I guess you would say. I mean, it really brings it home because. And I don't know if that's because the drugs being illegal or what have you, but it is
it's just two different ways of life. I mean, but anyway, the point of the matter is, I don't know why Rob Reiner went to rehab, and I assume obviously he had Trump derangement syndrome. Now there seems to be a big kerfuffle, Eric, about Trump going after him, but then Trump pointed out, and others have defended Trump, including Rob Schmidt, including other conservative luminaries, for not being some customary guy. He was a great guy, Rob Reiner. He was not to Trump, and Trump never forgets. He's like an elephant. He's getting squishy. There he goes. Oh,
no, he gets squishy. Oh. No, I just feel like this. I'm going to go with the Scott Jennings angle.
Yeah,
he could just said nothing.
He could have, but that's not Trump. That's Scott Jennings.
Right. Obviously, Trump can do whatever the hell he wants.
President Jennings can do nothing.
Well, a lot of people could do nothing, and I don't think that that's the best truth that Trump has ever put out. Sorry, it's kind of shitty. At the same time, people are criticizing, people mocking, Charlie Kirk. I try not to be a hypocrite. Now, obviously, Trump can get away with it. I want
you to, at some point after the show, look at a list of things that Rob Reiner said about Donald Trump over the years in a straight list, and tell me that you're going to say, sorry to see you die, bro.
He doesn't have to say anything. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, but that's you. That's not him.
Okay.
That's the Eric Hunley presidency.
Well, there you go.
Speaking of the presidency, why don't we talk about Susie Wiles for this story if you want? Since we're
I kind of had a couple more because I teed off of them because.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, we've got a kid. He's got a drug issue. This rolls right into this. Trump has declared street fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction now, escalating militarization.
What does that mean? Legally, what does that mean? I don't understand. What is it? Is it an atomic bomb?
Well, a weapon of mass destruction could be a bomb. It could be a biological agent. It could be a chemical agent. I mean, if it's a poison that's killing a lot of people, the idea, though, is if he could escalate it to a terrorist level, let's say get caught dealing in fentanyl, what are the sentences going to potentially be? I don't know if it'll work. There's big arguments about whether that will do more or not, but it does help escalate the terrorism angle. Remember, he has declared the cartels terrorists. What do terrorists try to do? They use, they hope to have a dirty bomb. They try to, cause mass destruction and fear with people. So
the origin of fentanyl in the United States comes out of America's hospitals in fentanyl patches being stolen by nurses for their boyfriends and everything else. Right now in every hospital in the country is fentanyl being used. Does that make it a terrorist drug now?
Well, it's a good question, and I know about fentanyl. My dad had a fentanyl patch.
Of course, that's how he got into the culture. That's how he got into the culture.
Yeah, he was terminal. He was on hospice, and he was taking morphine and a patch, and
they just stole it. They just stole it and brought it into the culture. The question is he banning the actual drug from hospitals?
I don't know.
Right. Again, what happens to the hospitals now with fentanyl tomorrow?
I mean, two things can be true at once, because a hospital uses a lot of radiation for x-rays, but somebody else could be using radiation as a weapon. So I'm just saying, using an analogy, uranium can be good, can be bad. So I guess it just depends on the application.
Okay. At the same time, he's declaring cannabis illegal, that he's going after fentanyl. Does anybody find this dichotomy to be unusual?
Well, that's why I have both stories queued up right here. Did he actually sign the executive order today?
Tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow now? Well, because it was going to be maybe Monday, and then it was maybe today. So now it's been kicked to tomorrow.
I'll get to it. But
maybe
the dichotomy, I mean, obviously every retarded person in the country knows that marijuana is a gateway drug now. They used to laugh about it. Normal spent a lot of money to mock it.
Sure.
So he's now making the gateway drug into harder drugs accessible to everyone on the entire United States, while blocking with a death penalty the end result of the drug use. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. The two things together on the same week shows you that his drug policy is insane.
I have a question on the gateway drug front.
Yeah.
Could it be said that ultimately every drug is a gateway drug to alcohol? Because I've read somewhere that in the end, many people just become drunks. And
no, people just drink alcohol and don't do anything else. Millions of studies, I don't say millions, tens and hundreds of studies have indicated of marijuana use leading not that it leads to it, but when they go backwards in reverse from the heroin addict and the drug abuser, all of them started with weed. That does not mean the reverse will happen. I know you're ready to type some words. Save your breath for your inflatable date. You're going to need it.
Oh, some people think cigarettes are a gateway drug, which could be.
But there's no study that indicates that. I'm sorry. There are studies, hundreds and hundreds of studies for decades showing that drug addiction on the other end going backwards, and has indicated that they started with marijuana and cannabis.
Okay.
He's doing it for the banking. If you read that story that you put up,
yeah,
it's all about banking for Trump. There's no morality in this. Everything's about numbers with this cat.
Well, banking, and obviously, yeah, he's worried about banking the same way as he signed an executive order, which I disagree with, and everybody can get pissed off too, not allowing states to put in their own regulations dealing with AI, which
That's
to
a
me
weird
is
one. Well, that's
anti-American. No, I mean you have the 10th Amendment. No, states are supposed to be able to make their
There
own
could be a
laws.
national security issue on that one.
I question that.
Okay.
So, especially when I know who's behind it: David Sachs, Peter Thiel.
Well, you're naming names now. Now you're naming names.
Well, David Sachs is his AI guru.
Look, he's all about the Benjamins, Trump. There is no morality.
And Silicon Valley is more about the Benjamins than anybody on the planet, including Trump, probably. So it does go together.
All I'm saying is he skips morality. I guess they skipped that in class when he was going to Wharton School of Business. Don't they have morality in business classes?
Allegedly. And here we go. Eric turning into a rhino.
I don't know. What do you put these things up to torture yourself for? Leave them alone over there. Okay. Do you want to talk about Susie Wiles or not?
Well, yeah, we can talk about Susie Wiles. I mean, obviously, it's an interesting story. I did want to talk about Brown as well, but
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But no, I guess Susan. What?
No, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I don't know. Here it is. I see what you're saying. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you make of this? Because I was watching Halpern this morning, and
I listened to both of them. I find it remarkable because whatever we did, we've not trusted Susie Wiles from the jump, but we've never known her to be loose-lipped. I mean, this is just kind of like a completely self-destructive move. And she's arguing now things are taken out of context. It's like, woman, I thought you were smart enough to know that if you put the words out there, they can be cut to context, and certain things, it's really hard. The context of Trump has an alcoholic personality. Okay, the context is his brother died of alcoholism and that, but that's still not enough. That statement still sits there saying that Trump has an alcoholic personality. How are they to interpret that as one example? Or
I think the real problem is, why would you do a magazine feature piece that is massaged by numerous editors over months? She gave 11 interviews.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying, why would you do it to begin with?
Well, exactly.
What is the upside? What is the upside of doing it?
And that was Spicer's question. Spicer was saying what are you doing? Why are you talking?
I'll give you the answer. I'll give you the answer. She's leaving.
Well, people said it read a lot like that. It read like
it was her goodbye. It was her goodbye.
Which is like a giant FU.
Yeah.
I mean, really sad to say.
No,
but
she's done. She
dropped a grenade.
I'm not saying he's going to do anything to her. She did this as a goodbye letter for her job. I mean, you don't wake up one day and say, I'm going to do 11 interviews with Vanity Fair on the intimate aspects within the administration, and I'm the chief of staff. Give me a fucking break. This is a chick who's saying goodbye. She's a grandmother. She's too old for the job. Everybody loves her. All this bullshit, Washington insider crap. She's going back to Florida. It's the end of the year. Who the hell trusts Vanity Fair to do this? I mean, even if it was the Wall Street Journal, it would be bizarre. But Vanity Fair? Are you kidding me, Eric?
Yeah, with the tag team of the New York Times getting the initial scoop. But also, one person did say it. Boy, her book deal numbers just went way up.
Yeah, that's why she did it. She's leaving.
And she just gave a preview. Hey, all you publishers who want to have a bidding war, here's some things that I might be talking about.
Look, we don't even know what it was about. I mean, she may have been fuming, and I'm just making this up. She may have been upset about Marjorie Taylor Greene. Maybe she was a supporter of her, and she said that's a bridge too far. I'm just making this up. I'm not saying that would,
sure,
or whatever it was.
Because Gates, I think, came from her too.
Right, no, but I'm saying I don't know what it was, but something happened where she finally said, I'm out of here by the end of the year. I'm going to do this interview, get a book deal, and I'm almost 70 years old. I've got grandchildren to take care of, and
Okay, I agree. There are a million ways that you could leave without dropping a grenade on your way out. I mean, that's the part.
Never should have been hired. You could go back on our original show, where I said it from day fucking one. The fact that this woman was this is the most stressful, strenuous job on the planet Earth. I am sorry that people believe that this grandmother could do it. I mean, it's a Rahm Emanuel type job. It is someone who is a dog of war, who is willing to kill people for this guy. Sure. Going to Vanity Fair at the end of the year, calling your boss an alcoholic, is not exactly the type of person you want in that chief of staff job.
No, I can't disagree with her about Pam Bondi.
No, I mean, there's truth, but you're undermining the Attorney General of the United States in a magazine from the left. Thank you. That was helpful. Yeah.
Well, and her defense is really mealy-mouthed too. The article published early this morning was a disingenuously framed hit piece on me and the finest president, White House cabinet in history.
She didn't realize
significant context was disregarded, and much of what I and others said about the team was left out, which
shocking.
That is not her saying it's untrue.
Who gives a shit? This is something of like an amateur hour by this woman. Are you kidding me, lady? And she doesn't know the moral of the scorpion and the frog? What, is she fucking kidding me? Disingenuously, it's Vanity Fair. How about after the 7th interview, you didn't get up and leave? How about after the 10th interview, you didn't get up and leave? No, you had to be interviewed 11 or 12 times and then see it published, edited, cut, having all these people working on it. She gave them a sword and they stuck it in, and they're glad. I don't blame them for 1 second.
No, it's her job. But by the way, though, what I'm saying is that her reply is, going by statement analysis, is deceptive as hell. She just admitted everything was true in her statement right there when she said disingenuously no, you said that you literally just admitted that you said this, and they didn't present it in a manner that you liked, but you still said all that shit. And how are you?
What I'm saying is that statement is so juvenile and amateur as to be laughable at the level where she's coming from.
Which is why it's confusing, because by most accounts, like Halperin worships her.
I know,
which is funny. By the way, speaking of Halperin, we got to cover one more thing, because he was talking about Newsom again. He's back on the kick of Newsom's family. He's not going to let him run.
Yeah, sure. Which family is that?
Like
which family
I'm
is
like,
that?
Mark,
the
are you on somebody's
family?
It's like he's on somebody's payroll, because he's so consistently about Newsom, and I'm like, the dude.
When is he going to switch? When he's taking the oath of office? I mean, what are you kidding me with this?
I do not know. It is.
Well, we'll see. That'll take care of itself, Eric. I mean, I can't be concerned with that.
It's not a big deal. It's just
it's just
amusing.
Funny. It's just funny.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things now, that's going to lead into the Brown story. I mean, not much more.
Before we get into the Brown story, I just want to give a shout out to quarterback Philip Rivers of the Colts, who this is one of the greatest Cinderella stories I've ever seen in my life. Just so people at home may not know this, Philip Rivers was the quarterback for the San Diego Chargers for many, many years. He's borderline Hall of Fame. And at the age of 39, 5 years ago, he retired from football at 39, and he was done. He was definitely done. So the Colts and I don't follow the Colts. I was just stumbled into this game the other day, Colts versus Seattle. And the Colts had nobody left. The backup was gone. The star was gone. They called him up on the phone. This is unbelievable. And he's coaching a tiny high school in Alabama football. Really? This is right out of The Rookie with Dennis Quaid. And he gets a phone call, shows up at the practice squad this week on his 45th birthday, which was Monday. And he marches the Colts down the field all game long, and drives into the final drive with 1:08 left to kick the go-ahead field goal against Seattle. And I'm just watching the movie in my head. I'm writing it. As I'm watching this game, I'm writing the screenplay, because it's exactly the same as The Rookie, where Dennis Quaid ends up pitching in for the Houston Astros, which is a true story also. This guy looks like Chris Pine. He's a dead ringer. Chris Pine's about 45 years of age, the same age as Philip Rivers. I couldn't believe what I was watching on Sunday. I just want to give a shout out to old men who are out there for this guy to come. He's a grandfather. His kids were in the stands and his grandchildren. And at the most beautiful moment of the game, they showed the watch party of his Alabama high school football team going batshit crazy in a restaurant, cheering on their old man coach from this tiny town in Alabama. What a heartwarming fucking story. I just wanted to, if anybody saw that or didn't see it, just wanted to acknowledge it because wow, what a extremely deeply religious Christian man, Philip Rivers, all the elements of a great movie.
He and Kurt Warner should start a bowling team.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, I'm sure somebody was optioning his life story by the third quarter.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to get that in. Go on.
No, I hope they do make a movie. I mean, that was making me think that Kurt Warner story too. I mean, deeply religious all the way down.
Imagine walking on, you're 5 years retired, and you come on, not the same team, a different team with different players, and the front line went to war to protect him. The front line was decimated for the Colts. They were all backups, and they wouldn't let anyone touch him. They lost their minds protecting him and the Seattle fans, the game was in Seattle, were booing their own team. It was quite an event. And not that I knew it was coming.
Well, who would have thought to call the guy? I mean, that's the other question.
Somebody who was a coach back in the day with the Chargers. Somebody knew him. I
guess so, because it's just kind of that is one of those calls out of the cold.
I mean, the desperation of the Colts was unbelievable. They had no one for game day, no one. And not to watch him, like the old man, come out and do this, and it reminded me of George Blanda, I guess, from Oakland. There's a couple of older guys back in the day who were quarterbacks at the very end of their careers who were older, but 45, Eric, his birthday was on Monday.
Well, Tom Brady might argue with me. Brady's what, 45 plus?
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing.
Anyway, I just wanted to give a shout out to Rivers for that.
Well, that's awesome. And you know what? May have helped Philip Rivers make his choice when he got the phone call.
What? He said he had no energy at the time.
He might not have, but he probably had some coffee.
That's what he said. I had a cup of coffee with my wife, and we decided to drive to Indianapolis and then go to Seattle.
And it wasn't just any coffee.
No.
It was probably because it's a little brighter. He's got to travel. He's got to, have a good full bit of energy. Probably some American Untold Stories Supreme Breakfast Blend. I would think that would be the coffee he preferred. And all of you might prefer, if you're going to, join up the team, another team, not the same team, but another team, to help them in their time of need.
Wow.
And you too can get America's Untold Stories. We have 2 blends. And you know what? While you're there, this is actually Moon Dose Coffee who makes it for us. It is a custom blend. It's not like a white label thing where, they just buy bags from a manufacturer. These are all custom blended coffees. They also have flavored coffees. And guess what? It's holiday season. So while you're there, you might say, hey, they've got something called Jazzy Raz, which is kind of a raspberry flavored coffee. My wife really loves that. They have Irish cream out for the holidays, other different flavors. If you want decaf, you might want decaf. If you like coffee at night and you just want a little bit less energy during the day, consider checking them out. It's a good time to do it. Coffee's a great gift, especially for, people who have everything and they just don't want more crap cluttering around their house. You can give them coffee, they can drink it, enjoy it, and they probably really appreciate it. And you also get free shipping when you get 4 bags. So that makes a lot of sense. And believe me, shipping is ludicrous. Okay, Mark, I just had to ship something to
To me?
some in-laws that we
Oh,
have.
an in-laws, right.
Yeah. Okay. I went to the UPS store because I have a box at the UPS store that people send us stuff, and they wanted $59.
What?
$59 for, and it was a box. It was about like this big by this big by this big. Not totally big. The contents of it probably were worth $35 or $40. So I was like, okay, hell with that. I'm gonna have to go with USPS and whatever. So I went to another place to pack and ship. Wound up paying $53 with FedEx, which is insane.
Wow.
I asked
It's
them
insane.
about it.
It's insane, bro. It's out of control.
Well, and apparently they're doing Hollywood gouging pricing now, just like everybody else. We did the story about Instacart, where depending on where you are and your address,
that
and
was
the
a
time
weird
of
one,
today. Well, now apparently all of the shipping is doing it, and a lot of it is Amazon, because Amazon doesn't pay that kind of money. Amazon strong arms them, and they're like, okay, if you don't want to take our business, we'll just get Instacart drivers and Door Dashers and other people to take the packages for you. So it is it's getting horrible racket.
Well, not as horrible as the Chinese billionaires who apparently are paying surrogates to give birth to their babies on American soil, thereby having an American child. This is a different version of the surrogate Chinese tourist story. This is now a Chinese billionaire story where they're paying American surrogate women to give birth on American soil and then taking the baby to China.
Well,
we thought we had them when we banned the surrogate vacations. These pregnancy vacations where they'd show up in their 8th month, give birth, and then go back with an American baby. That was gotten rid of 2 years ago. Now they've fought back with another. The reason I'm mentioning this is all going to come up in the Supreme Court birthright citizenship case,
sure.
Which is, I thought, why it would be of interest to the audience.
Well, I mean, and it's going to be interesting on that too, because
I know
I do have questions. There have been trials fought, so there is some law in surrogacy land. Like, from what I understand, there have been cases where a couple pays for a surrogate, and the surrogate will claim the baby. Hey, it grew up in me, and the couple actually wins the case because it is seen, no, it is their genes, and you were nothing but storage.
How about this?
I wonder. Well, I was going to say, I wonder if in precedent you could say, hey, that Chinese couple who is having an American surrogate, sorry, that's not an American child. That is actually your child. This
is not a couple. There's not a Chinese couple. These are individual male billionaires who are hooking up with American surrogate women. This is a little different take on what, but I'll add this. This is a weird one. I didn't know people realize this. The daughter that spoke out of Rob Reiner's was the daughter Tracy. Tracy is the only one who's given a statement regarding the. Yeah, well, here's the. See, it's funny you mention this. Okay, Tracy is the daughter of Rob Reiner and Penny Marshall, but she was adopted. Penny Marshall, no, it's even weirder. Penny Marshall had a husband before she married Rob Reiner. That couple adopted a daughter. They named her Tracy. They then get divorced. The adopted daughter is with Penny Marshall, who then marries Rob Reiner, who then, as a couple, readopt Tracy as a daughter. I had never heard this before, but maybe people at home have heard of this. So she was the adopted daughter of this other couple, then becomes and then Penny Marshall is divorced from him in 1981, and Rob Reiner ends up adopting her with his new wife, who's the mother of all of these 3 kids. Now 4.
Well, at least she felt loved.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to adopt her. So, I mean, that's kind of nice.
She's had 3 mothers. I mean, that's
wild.
Wow.
That is wild.
Yeah. And she said, I am the luckiest person in the United States to be part of this family. I would say touche, honey.
Well, at least part of the family.
Until recently.
Yeah. I mean, apparently the younger daughter and
Romy.
Nick are really, really close.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's always some of that going on within emotional incest within the siblings. That's also quite common. The older brother, apparently a straight edge, was a TV newscaster in Houston.
Yeah. Is that frequently the case too, that you have one brother that's like perfectly boring? And I don't mean boring in a bad way. I mean, just kind of like
no. But he was the oldest. He was the apple of his father's eye. He was the most successful, and I don't know, most successful. I don't know, financially, if that's as good as you can do. But nevertheless, the middle child, which is the Nick, was the one that was out of his mind. And as I pointed out in the episode yesterday, the yoga instructor got into writing children's books and wrote a book about the kid as a maniac when he's like 8 years old, little Nicky.
Yeah, and it was bad. It was Nicky. She kept the name Nick in the book. It wasn't.
Yeah, the book is called Chair in the Air for a reason.
Yeah, no, that's insane. All right, so what? Okay, I wanted to briefly talk about the Brown thing because
go ahead.
I'm not really deep into it, but I just find this interesting that apparently Cash, did the same thing that he did with Charlie Kirk, and I just don't get it. The whole we got him. Oh wait, never mind.
Just incompetence, just sheer incompetence.
I mean, what is up to that? That it's like you just can't shut up. So now they're still looking for the person. But this is
wait. Just go backwards as to the got him who they got. It was a sniper, U.S. Army Ranger, young, good-looking guy sniper, who I believe now has a case against the FBI. They released his name, his photos, his career, every single thing. I got busy and I thought, oh, okay, that case is over. It wasn't until a couple of days later that I realized there's still a manhunt. Yeah, this is like the Tsaroff brother manhunt for the Boston Marathon bombing.
Right. Well, in terms of the wrong guy, think back to Richard Jewell.
It reminds me of Richard Jewell.
That was a horrible case with the guy literally was a hero.
Yeah.
Discovered it, and overnight from a hero to being the chief suspect. I mean, they ran him.
What about the president of Brown, this crazy Karen woman who was asking people to come forward to say if they were in the classroom that day? She has no idea who was in the classroom. Did you hear this? I mean, the press
she had
conference,
no idea what they were covering too.
She had no idea what they were covering. She had no idea who was in the classroom, who was the teacher. She had no idea what was there. And I thought to myself, how incompetent could this woman be? And then I looked up her salary. It's $3.1 million a year. Which is you're telling me you couldn't do this job for $400,000?
And by the way, how is that possible? Remember when, it was like academics, they go through all that education and never get money. It's like, yeah, except for presidents at universities.
Except for the executives on the tippy top. Yeah. And how about the guy, the crazy Spanish chief of police, who's being told what to say on a hot mic yesterday in the press conference by the mayor and the head of the government there? I mean, I've never heard that before in my life. This guy is rambling on in Spanish at times. He breaks into Spanish in the press conference, not copying what he just said, just rambling into Spanish. And then he goes, we had a guy in custody. And the guy leans over and whispers in his ear. He goes, custody is not the right word. Don't say custody. And it's a hot mic. And I'm going like, what the fuck is going on in Providence? Providence has always been the New Jersey of New England. It is a weird amateur hour city up there. And, yeah. A lot of times there's a lot of these Portuguese gangs that run. Dude, it's just a fucking mess up there. But I've never seen a discombobulation like this press conference until I saw the LAPD one a couple of days ago.
Well, what concerns me, and Halpern actually reported on it, I think yesterday and then today, and it really makes sense that apparently the police have said, hey, nothing to worry about. There is no further threat. Now, if you have a mass shooter and they're out there, that would imply that there's potentially a threat. However, there is information that's coming through his family. I guess it got reported to him, and that was that the second victim, I guess the female, is the most conservative person on the campus. She was like the Charlie Kirk student on the campus. And apparently, unlike most other mass shootings, they went in, shot, and then left. Almost like they succeeded in what they were trying to do.
The 28 cameras that haven't picked them up yet. There's 28 cameras. There were cameras everywhere. How about the fact that the teacher, she said, of course I wasn't teaching that day. My assistant does the teaching, right? So the professor said, I wasn't teaching. It was my assistant. And they said, well, what do you know about this? And she says, well, my assistant said he yelled out something, which is the Ali Akbar. He yelled out something, and the press said, well, what did he yell out? And she says, I can't remember what she told me. How do you like that for a cockamamie answer? The teacher who wasn't there can't remember what her assistant, who was there, told her the guy yelled out right before he opened fire.
Yeah, of course. And yes, they're going to hide that, of course. We can't have Ali Akbar or anything like that coming out. And that brings us to Bondi, because that case literally right there.
You're talking about Australia.
Yeah, Bondi Beach,
and Bondi.
Australia.
I'm a little confused.
Oh, I'm sorry, but Bondi Beach.
Right.
Anyway,
I watched that presser yesterday too. With that, not only the police. You talk about deer in the headlights. These people are unbelievable down there, and also the prime minister who blamed the right wing for the debacle. He blamed right wing white supremacy.
Right, because they very quickly went over, and they were playing it earlier. I forgot who it was, but some reporter was talking about it, and they said, so I understand that you found ISIS links to these individuals. And the reporter said, yes, there was some Islamic Republic links to the individuals, but however, what it really was all about was a very strong anti-Semitism. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, they don't mind talking about that.
No, because they're pivoting to the white supremacy because of the anti-Semitism. It's like, whoa. I don't know of anybody who's more anti-Semitic than ISIS.
Right. ISIS is up there. They're in the top three.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's part of their charter. So I would say yes, anti-Semitism is kind of like, well, yeah, that's kind of what they do, part of what they do. But boy,
you know how hard it is to get a private gun license in Australia. This ISIS mutt, not only did he have a private gun license, he had 10 guns in his possession in Australia. And the press is going, why? And they had no answers. I mean, I've never seen a more incompetent police force as New South Wales. The police station was across the street from the beach, Eric. The station itself. And they said, well, some of these men have only been on the job for a number of months. And the press is going, what difference does this make? Then he said, this is really the most unbelievable. The shooters had long rifles, not just regular rifles. They had long rifles, and the police were only armed with tiny pistols. So they couldn't engage them.
Versus a bystander who literally tackled their ass with no weapon of any kind, which, by the way, they were very quick to point out, the Muslim person who rescued him, apparently he's not really Muslim.
No, he's Christian Mennonite, right?
Well, he's a Christian but like a particular sect of Christian in the Middle East.
Right. Yeah.
But it's like interesting. So really, he's Arabic potentially.
They can't fucking help themselves. These two mutts, the father and son, went to the Philippines. There's an island off the Philippines that is still in control by ISIS. They went to that particular island for training. They wouldn't admit any of this shit in the press conference. The police, the reporters had to dig this up on their own. They went there for training. These guys were so efficient. If you watch the video, this guy looks like Lee Harvey Oswald on methadone. How fast he's chambering the shot and pulling back the thing.
He's just trained. He's a trained soldier.
Super trained shooter.
Yeah.
But the point of the matter is, they actually went to an ISIS training camp in the Philippines. And they said, didn't you have intelligence aware of that trip? No. Why does he have 10 weapons? No idea. How did he get a license? Who knows? And then they just kept talking about more gun control. They went on and on and on about more additional levels of gun control.
Yeah, of course, from what I understand, that in between dealing with Hamas and everything else, Israel had sent signals to Australia saying, hey, you guys have a problem down there. You may want to watch out for blah, 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 blah. Well, and Australia is busy disavowing them and calling them, genocidal.
The actual direct call came from Netanyahu to the Prime Minister of Australia, who said, tomorrow, if and when you normalize and legalize a Palestinian state, as you're going to do, I'm trying to call you to tell you not to do this. You're going to put Australian Jews in jeopardy for their lives. And the Australian Prime Minister said, I highly doubt that, sir, and went and recognized Palestine as a state the next day. Wow.
Good times. Wow. Good times for all. So, I don't know. It is all very disturbing and very sad.
Not as sad as the Turtle Island Liberation Front, Hunley, the new weathermen. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. And the new organization, which is called TILF, one of the worst names I've ever heard for a radical leftist group, they are pro-Palestinian, pro-climate change people. They're also anti-Israel. They're also white. They're also arrested by the FBI out here in the Mojave Desert in a massive operation where they were creating explosives and testing them in the desert for a New Year's Eve savage attack of explosives throughout LA. Picked up another member, New Orleans last night. Tip of the hat to the FBI for this. This is a incredible, radical, well-organized group called the Turtle Island. Turtle Island is what, just so people know, is what they refer to as North America, that it doesn't belong to us, that it belongs to the indigenous Indians of the region. So they don't recognize the existence of the United States, nor Canada, nor Mexico for that matter. And Turtle Island, oh, here it is. Yeah, Turtle Island Group, Terrapod to Bomb, California. This is going to be New Year's Eve through LA. They had the bombs. They were testing them out in the desert. They had tents out there. This is some of the photos in the back of the pipe bombs they were making and the PVC and everything else.
See, and that's the problem, where I'm getting confused about the FBI and Cash Patel, because things like this is good.
No, but it's a big organization. It's a mixed bag, sure. Eric. I mean, people are doing, there's multiple things going on. It's not all just one thing. I mean,
well, I understand that, but
this was a good project.
Yeah, if there's good stuff. Let me see here.
Yeah. Yeah, watch out for the music there.
Yeah.
They're just going to show you the bombs.
Yeah, this is like one of those little preview things. That doesn't
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking them
but I mean, real plot, real vicious, real weatherman. The weathermen are their heroes. You got to remember that. And they were the ones that endorsed Obama and worked with him and wrote his memoir. And Kathy Bodine is still around in Chicago. And
any anniversaries coming up with the weathermen? Because it'd be 50-year anniversaries with some of their shenanigans.
I don't know, but New Year's Eve is a big anniversary, and they were going to blow the shit out of Southern California. They're here.
I hope there's not more plots.
They're here. They're queer, and they're out to get us. And all of these people were white, young girls, and a couple of swarthy guys.
A couple of swarthy guys. Okay. Well, you sent me
indistinguishable. I don't know what they were, so I'm just saying swarthy guys.
I mean, that's a fair.
There's a couple of swarthy guys. I don't know what they were.
There is some. I don't know. I just say ethnic. Yeah. They don't really know.
I don't know.
You sent me this one. I didn't know if that was related or not. This cult.
Separate story. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Tell me about it.
You know, there's a cult out there right next door in Hemet to Scientology, having nothing to do with Scientology. And apparently there's people who are missing, and they showed up, the police showed up to find the missing people, but they won't tell them who's missing. So they raided the place, and this is some cult I've never heard of.
Wow.
There's one of the
This
cults.
guy's missing.
Yeah, that's the missing guy. His Way Spirit-led Assemblies is the full title. And this guy joined in 2000, so it's been around a long time. But I just like that it's next door to Scientology out in Hemet, because sometimes they get their mail and they go, wait a minute, this isn't for me. This says L. Ron Hubbard. What the hell is this?
Wow. I don't know. Well, I mean, maybe it's a spinoff. Maybe it's competitive. It's like, hey, good real estate.
No, it's completely Christian. It's completely a Christian cult. No,
Okay.
It's not one of those.
All right. Well, you know what? How about a happy story?
What do you got? I was pretty happy. I didn't mind that one.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, Bill Hader, the comedian,
Was
the one who got into the fight with Nick Reiner at the party. Now, Nick Reiner was going around asking people they were famous, so Bill Hader said, I am, and then got into some argument that led to the kid leaving. I just wanted to put that.
Yeah, I saw a thing on that where Hader was talking to somebody, and the kid was like lingering, and he's like, hey, this is a private conversation. Or
yeah.
And then the kid blew up or got weird, and
yeah,
I guess he was creeping everybody out.
Well, he's probably high as a kite, and why his father would bring him to Billy Crystal's house for this Christmas party is bizarre.
I thought it was Conan O'Brien's.
I mean, Conan O'Brien. I'm sorry.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe he followed him there. I mean, I don't know what kind of combustible situation. Obviously, potentially, like if they were really afraid of him, I've read over and over and over that they were kind of terrified of the kid. Maybe they were afraid to say no.
As I told you,
I'm coming.
As I've told you many times on this show, meth leads to swords and knives. It is part of the meth addiction to cut off, decapitate, and also use swords and knives to injure or eliminate people. It goes with the drug.
It's just a very strange.
Yeah, but it's part of it. Everyone knows it. Everyone had enough decapitations out here, which was what he was attempting to do while they were in bed, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. People are asking if the son was abused. I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm going to always assume no until there's proof otherwise. When you make, with that kind of thing. But here, this is a good story. Christmas Day gas prices expect to drop to the lowest level in 5 years. Never mind your state.
It's a great story. I mean, the egg prices are plummeting. The gas prices are plummeting. It's a question of messaging that they're having problems with. If Susie Wiles wasn't so busy working with Vanity Fair, she could be out there getting people who are like-minded, putting out the message into media, instead of giving them a sword to stab into the guy's back. But that's good news.
Speaking of the messages going out there, though, what do you think about the combination? Because it appears that Trump's just not going to acknowledge anything of any kind, but JD Vance is kind of walking behind saying, we feel your pain. Like, they're kind of.
We talked about this last week, this split message, and others have mentioned it, that he's Clintonian in his dialogue, Vance, about feeling people's pain. But when the chief of the government is saying there is no pain, it's a messaging problem, you can't have two people going out there with split messages.
I mean, unless they
either Trump is right or Vance is right.
Right. Unless it's somehow coordinated. I don't know. But it is, because Passant apparently is doing it too.
According to Mark Halpern, this nomination is wide open now. Halpern he's talked about the big donors. They want a free-for-all.
Well, they also are. I think that JD's flirting with Tucker too much.
Yep.
I think that's really coming around.
Yep.
Because Halpern said that. He didn't say it directly. He just said that there's some of Vance's, what does they say? He's too much of a smart ass on Twitter.
Well, she called him a conspiracy theorist.
This is him responding. This is JD actually responding to that. That's why I was pulling this up.
Vice President Jacob Bogage from the Washington Post. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Same to you.
Unfortunately, I have to ask a bit of an off-topic question from affordability because news events do intervene, and that is the interviews that White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles gave to Vanity Fair, in which she's quoted as referring to you as, excuse me, and again, not my words, sir, but a conspiracy theorist of a decade, and described your transformation from someone who once opposed President Trump to now his vice president as an act of political expediency. And I'd like to give you the chance to respond to that, sir.
Well, first of all, if Susie, I'll trust what you said. I haven't looked at the article. I of course have heard about it, but conspiracy theorist. Sometimes I am a conspiracy theorist, but I only believe in the conspiracy theories that are true. And by the way, Susie and I have joked in private and in public about that for a long time. For example, I believed in the crazy conspiracy theory back in 2020 that it was stupid to mask 3-year-olds at the height of the COVID pandemic, that we should actually let them develop some language skills. I believed in this crazy conspiracy theory that the media and the government were covering up the fact that Joe Biden was clearly unable to do the job. And I believed in the conspiracy theory that Joe Biden was trying to throw his political opponents in jail rather than win an argument against his political opponents. So, at least on some of these conspiracy theories, it turns out that a conspiracy theory is just something that was true 6 months before the media admitted it. And that's my understanding.
Pretty good answer.
They were referring to the Jews in Israel and Tucker with the conspiracy
I know what
theories.
they were doing, but I'm saying
he's
his answer was
rearranging.
very clever.
No, again, he's too clever for school. The point of the matter is that the donors want a floor fight, and him being clever or not clever, they want to hear from DeSantis and Ted Cruz. This may be the biggest political debacle that I can recall of a guy being handed a gift and completely muffing the handoff from the leader in chief to him, because you and I and others believe this was a slam dunk literally a couple of months ago.
It was, but there are, and I will, freely admit that people have been telling me on the side, they've been saying in the chat for a while that J.D. Vance is a creation of Peter Thiel.
Again, I don't know what a creation of another person is, but
like a Manchurian candidate, somebody who's
I've never
promoted
heard.
No.
I understand that. I mean, I don't remember Peter Thiel saying there's no anti-Semitism on the right, which this guy came out and famously said last week. One of the most preposterous statements that any vice presidential or hopeful to be president has ever made. I mean, he was totally torched by every single conservative voice. Clearly saying there's a problem on the right about anti-Semitism. And then to find out that Tucker's son is inside of his bat cave and all these other things,
Yeah, well, I mean, two things can be true at once. Like I said, the Peter Thiel and the creation, a lot of people are saying essentially he was put in there saying whatever he had, and maybe, I don't know if this is real, if it's fake or what, it's not helpful. His coddling and dancing with Tucker. Others are doing it too.
Let me ask something. Where does this Tucker thing end up? Where does it go? Because he's gone so far out on the crazy limb now with Qatar, being the greatest country on earth. And please go there. You'll see for yourself how great it is. It's 10 million times better than Israel. At some point he's going to run out of bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Then he'll retire. I don't know.
All right.
Well, no. Okay. Somebody brought this up earlier. I didn't even think about it. Eventually you have to wind it all back.
Right.
And they said, who went out there more than anybody? Kanye West. Now what has Kanye done? Well, he's taken down everything he did. He's going to apology tour and and circling back around. Candace Owens just literally, she had her meeting with Erica Kirk or what have you. But literally the day before she met with Erica Kirk, she suddenly tweeted out saying, "There's no way you could tell me that Tyler Robinson acted, he didn't act alone." It's like, whoa. Now you just changed the whole narrative back.
Yeah,
to say that he was involved. So there it is.
All right, cares. That's a waste of time. But the Tucker Qatar thing is not a waste of time because of his nonstop attack on the Jews and his nonstop attack on Israel and his closeness to J.D. Vance and his closeness to Qatar. This is far more, interesting and scary to me than Candace Owens. You know what I mean? Because he has a proximity to power that she doesn't have. And also the point I'm trying to make is he keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier. Where does this end up? I think it ends up in rehab. And I've said that before, but other than that, I don't know how it's traditionally ended up in American culture with somebody saying, I have to check myself into rehab. I'm going to tell you a name right now that you'll agree that this is how it happened. Glenn Beck. There's a guy named what's his name, who was on Fox, the newscaster, because of sexual hijinks and drinking. There was what's his name on Chris Matthews had to retire because of hijinks and drinking. All of these guys had alcoholic or drug problems. Glenn Beck was addicted to Vicodin, went into rehab before going crazy with his chalkboards and everything. I think this is the end game for Tucker, simply by looking at Bill, what's his name from Fox, Bill O'Reilly, looking at Chris Matthews, looking at Glenn Beck. I think this is how the Tucker crazy spiral is going to end.
I'm not really sure. I mean, I think that his usefulness is less than it was. I mean, he's running out of influence. Like, the people, I don't know how many new people Tucker's actually convincing one way or another. I mean, ironically, you have Alex Jones out there right now.
I saw that.
Just railing left and right, saying, Jesus. And he's like almost becoming almost Zionist, but he's just like, it's such a, everything's such a, and he's going, crazy on that. Now, it is interesting, and some people might say, well, that's because Candace Owens is stealing all your air,
I know. Well, let me ask you this: if Tucker doesn't need the money from Qatar, the only alternative is blackmail. In other words, what would make someone change their political views literally overnight, 180 degrees? Usually, it's money. Now, you've cited Candace is money hungry. Okay, I'll buy that. But people have cited that Tucker doesn't need the money. Then the only alternative is blackmail. Like, what does Qatar have on Tucker to make him 24/7 their talking minor bird of how great it is in Qatar? What is it? He's not the ambassador to Qatar. He doesn't have businesses in Qatar. They're giving him, or he's buying a home in Qatar. But what is it that's making him a 24/7 salesman of Qatar?
I do not.
It's either money or blackmail.
It could be, and he may not have the money. Like, he got really hostile recently.
Yeah.
When somebody said, "Hey, you're rich," and he just lit into them big time. Now, I don't know for sure on that.
It might be true though, Eric.
But maybe he lost his money. I mean,
who knows? Maybe he invested in crypto, or who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I do not know for sure, but it is anything is possible. Anything is possible. But buying the property in Qatar and all that, I just kind of feel like he's.
I mean, normal people buy property in Boca. They don't buy property in Qatar.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree. Well, especially because, and I encourage everybody who's saying no, Tucker's fine. He's always perfect.
What?
I encourage you to look it up and ask and see what the actual rules are in Qatar for foreigners owning property. You'll find out that they can't just own property anywhere in Qatar. Here, you can own just about anywhere. Also, look up and see exactly how open you're allowed to really be with Christianity, because everybody's talking about, they love Christians so much.
Called on the carpet about that. You're right, Eric. I mean, there's 6 churches there. None of these Christians are citizens. They're under incredible draconian rulings.
Well, there are a lot of Christians in Qatar, Mark. I disagree. That's who's building shit. That's who their slaves are.
They're kind of, that's their slavery. That's a slave state.
Damn near. I mean, it would probably be closer to indentured servants or just very low wages. But yeah,
The
but
point of the matter is,
are doing the shit work.
DeSantis came out, Cruz came out, everybody, Huckabee came out denouncing him. This comparison of Qatar to Israel is the stuff of Looney Tunes. I mean,
Yeah,
nobody is buying this. Even people who are anti-Semites aren't buying this.
Yeah, it's
That Qatar is better than Israel as a place to live is insane. It's totally.
Well, I mean, if you have oil or gas money and, you know, a luxury suite and 20 Ferraris and all that, then yeah, maybe you'll live better there. But I'm talking about everybody else. The people like me, you know, the blue collar or whatever, want to be real. Yeah.
Well, there's no, put it this way. There's no middle class in Qatar.
No. I do not.
Well, I hope Tucker enjoys his new life in Qatar. I hope they have drug rehabs there.
Well, I just think that it may be a retirement type of thing, or he may just be fading out. I don't know, but we'll see how things go. But while we're talking about money and all of that,
yeah, go on.
We have Elon is coming back into the fold.
He's back.
Yep, he is funding Republican campaigns for 2026.
Oh, cool.
And hopefully he's doing it the right way, which is just send them the money and be supportive. Don't run them, because everything that Elon has actually run has kind of blown up in their face. Remember the campaigns right after November where Elon dumped just a ton of money. I think it was Minnesota, and just didn't do shit.
Some breaking news from a follower moments before the show. Tulsa, Oklahoma has gone blue. They ran a phony Republican candidate as a Democrat, and 2 Democrats ended up going head to head. The other Democrat was hiding, saying he was a Republican, and now Tulsa has become a blue city. Repeat: Miami gone, Tulsa gone.
Wow. Great. Lovely to see. All right. You are spamming, so you can be timed out.
What's that?
I'm just letting the chat know, because I'm trying to watch the chat and everything else. It's very distracting.
Okay.
When people sit there and they type the same thing over and over and over and over and over. It's when you type the same words over and over and over again. That's called spamming. Okay. And please don't do it. Okay. And if you do it,
I'm sure they're petrified.
I'm going to get, I'm going to bump you out or whatever, or time you out. But it's very annoying, and it runs off a lot of good people in the chat who also don't want to see it. So normally we have some mods here, but not always. Okay. You know what? I got to share this with you. I just saw this coming on the timeline. It's unbelievable. I think I was bitching about tips just recently. I was saying one thing about when I was in London was at least you just go and pay the bill, and you don't have to sit there and calculate or do this or do that. It was kind of nice. All right. Well, here's a new charge that apparently this restaurant in Tampa allegedly has come up with, the J. Alexander's.
You have a packaging fee here, but you guys they give them the bill, and you don't tell anybody when they're placing an order that there's a packaging fee, but you expect them to pay it.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you to leave the restaurant now.
Is that what you're asking?
I'm gonna have you trespass.
Well, who's the general manager?
I'm the assistant general manager.
You are? Okay. Do you have a card?
No, but I'm gonna have you.
So here he is, guys. So this is J. Alexander's in Tampa. So they're charging a packaging fee.
What's a packaging fee?
I'll see you later.
All right, so you know when they say, "Do you want to take that home with you?" So,
you mean to go? You
want to go the leftovers? Yeah,
to go.
So everybody can see
a 10% packaging fee.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird. Well, if you tell them up front, maybe it's okay. You know, if the waitress goes over.
He's saying literally they did not tell him. They did not advise him. And they stuck it on
beef. He's got legitimate beef.
I think it's kind of a bullshit charge. I mean,
well, that's a separate issue, though. I mean, they could charge you for anything if they tell you. I mean,
I guess, but I mean, yeah, we've gone from doggy bag to.
I'm upset that they make me do it. That's my only upset thing. Is that now it's changed. Here you go. I go, what? They go, there. Put your food in this box. Go get the fuck out of here. What do I look like? They now make you do it.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah. I mean, they're charging me.
At least they're not charging you a packaging fee of 10% of your meal.
He wanted them to do it.
Well, I mean, think about that. 5%, 10%. That's quite a bit, especially on a
$100 meal. Yeah.
Yeah. For what? For, going scoop, flop into a container? Come on now.
Look, I don't like doing it myself. I'll pay the guy at the next table to do it.
All right. Fair enough. Let's see, for a little bit more light fare, one guy who always entertains to me is Sheriff Grady out of Florida.
Well, this guy's great.
To go into Walmart in Mulberry. You ought not to go into Walmart in Mulberry, Florida, or any other place and steal stuff. But Homero Sains, who's 58 from Valrico, did over in Hillsborough County. That's where he lives.
That's right.
So why didn't he come to Polk County? Well, he obviously only has 3 brain cells because he'd already been arrested over there for a stolen vehicle and all kinds of theft. So I guess he thought he'd get out of the neighborhood. Well, he came to Walmart and started stealing stuff and sticking it in his shirt. And then he put other stuff in his basket. And then he decided to go right past all the point of sales. And the Walmart people said, stop, wherever you are. You cannot steal from Walmart. Well, our deputy arrives and he starts running. Dun, 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 dun.
That's nice.
Tasing. He starts fighting with our deputy, trying to grab the taser. Finally, we tase him successfully. And he stops. When we arrested him, we found he had a white girdle band on under his shirt.
What?
And had $237 worth of items in that girdle band.
Oh, in the band. Oh, he was. Wow, it's pretty smart. This guy's a pro, Eric.
Oh, yeah, no, obviously.
The guy's a pro.
But I'm sorry.
Don't you love when they fall down like this, when they're tasered, when they're confronting a cop? And then they're like this, they're ready to fight, and they get tasered, and then they just fall like a tree.
Yes. Well, you know what I was thinking was, after you talked about the taser, that the girdle might have helped protect him from the taser hit. Before, like, I saw somebody who was, and it's no offense of her being obese, but it might have been a factor. This woman got out of the car. I mean, they tased her, and she's just still coming at them, and they think they eventually shot her. It was
wow.
Because not everybody, is going to fall down automatically. Most people will.
Don't tase me, bro.
Yeah.
Don't tase me, bro.
I agree. Okay, I had another one that I wanted to share because I thought this guy did a good job. He's kind of he was on Bachelorette back in the day, and he came out as trans
on the show.
No, afterwards. So he already did the show, and then he came out as trans, wearing all this weird stuff. But then it turns out he was kind of doing it as a joke or as performance art. So whatever it was. Well, this is him going to a school and talking about trying to get a.
Oh, I know this guy. I know who he is.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? He's kind of pranks.
He does a Native American thing too.
Okay,
well, he says he's Native American adjacent.
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Hi. Do you work here?
Yes, I do.
Are you a teacher here?
I am. I teach 3rd grade.
Okay, I have a question. I just moved here with my daughter into the neighborhood, and I was wondering if this was a good school.
Yeah, I think it's a great school.
Okay, so my daughter, she just came out as queer to me, and I was just wondering if this would be a safe learning environment for her.
We actually have a lot of identifying non-binary and gender queer students here, so I think she'd fit in just fine.
Okay. And I
Right
saw
on.
that you have a sign in the window. It says everyone is welcome here except ICE.
Yes,
If ICE were to come onto the premises, would you guys kick them off?
absolutely. We believe
Yeah.
in the safety of our students and our faculty, so we would.
Thank you.
absolutely-
Okay.
Hold on.
Isn't that how immigration works?
I'm sorry.
Isn't that how immigration works? Everyone's welcome except illegals, and if they come into the country, we kick them out?
Why are you asking me these questions?
Well, it's a simple question. You should be able to answer it. You're a teacher.
Yeah, I don't know who you are. You're filming. Is this
You don't
something
need to know who I am. I'm undocumented, ma'am.
You're on school property, and technically you're trespassing.
Ma'am, no one's trespassing on illegal land, so.
Okay, well, you haven't shown me an ID. I don't know.
Oh,
who
so now you
are.
need my papers?
Yes, you're on school.
Are you the
trespassing.
Gestapo now? You want to see my papers?
No, but again, our property, you're trespassing. You've shown no form of ID.
Ma'am, you don't need to know who I am. I am fleeing a bad school district in search for a better one. Have a little sympathy.
Unless you can show me proper identification, I'm getting security.
So you're going to call security to take me out simply because I'm an undocumented person on
Yes,
your property?
Yes. I
Isn't
am.
that how immigration works?
I'm asking you to move out of my way.
Like we do with illegal criminals that come into our country,
Provide me an ID of who you are.
as we do with illegals that come into our country,
Or I'm getting security to remove you from the
as we
property.
do with ICE when we remove them from our country.
I'm asking you to please move out of my way. This conversation is no longer.
Okay, bye.
That was
Yeah,
pretty well done.
I've seen him do other characters. He's very good.
I do like that. He said, "Oh, like illegal like immigration." Oh,
He's
somebody
covered with
who's-
tats, by the way. He does have a bodyguard. He has mixed it up with some others on some of the other theatrical ventures.
He's a strange dude because I remember when he first came out as trans, like I said, and no, everybody thought he was serious. So he was playing this character, and then he was like, "No, I'm not serious." So I don't know. It's very confusing, but he did make a very solid point, and I love.
Yeah,
her.
he's good at it. He's very good at it. I mean, the Native American one, he's wearing a headdress and everything. I mean, he is full on indigenous, and he said, "I'm not born that way. I wasn't born indigenous, but I identify as a Native American, and I'd like to be recognized as a Native American." I don't think that's a problem. And he has a whole rap about it. It's really complicated.
Wow, he put a lot of thoughts. Well, you know what? What's not complicated are super chatters, and we've got Anthony from Australia who wants to let us know again Trump's fault.
This guy won't stop with the Trump thing, huh?
No, it's always Trump's fault. At least he's consistent. And then Pam, happy Tuesday, guys. Happy Tuesday, Pam. Thank you so much. It's good to see you as always. Tractor Guy, Diffuse. Mark, thanks for the excellent rundown of Rob Reiner last evening. Learned more from you than all the other reporting. Tractor Guy. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say it just got under my skin. I didn't believe it. Believe me, I didn't want to do it, but I couldn't take it anymore watching that press conference by Alan Hamilton, the deputy chief of detectives of robbery homicide. I just lost my shit. You know, I mean, I'm familiar with the subject matter, but that press conference just said, I got to do something. I couldn't take it anymore.
I saw you on X complaining about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Dr. Evil is pointing out that we did cross 132,000.
Took 5 years.
It is literally 5 years this coming up year. Yeah. 4 years and change in. RS Brim. AG Pam Bondi was a registered foreign agent of Qatar a few years ago. Some of this stuff is just batshit crazy conspiracy to obfuscate from important issues.
Some of which stuff?
I don't know. I mean, some would say that about Epstein.
Right. No, I have said that. I have said that about Epstein.
And the Democrats really pulled a ridiculous fast one when they published that picture of Trump with all the women and the faces blacked out, which was a published photo. It was so obviously put in there. It's just crazy.
It just makes his
his
job harder. That's all.
Enjoying tonight's energetic show. He's been a member for 21 months.
Tractor Guy, way to go, bro.
That's awesome. Thank you. He also gifts a lot of memberships. Then we got Pew Pew from Norway. Merry Christmas to AUS and all the fine folks in the chat. Well,
there's good people on both sides of the chat,
except for the ones I time out.
right? There are good people on both sides.
They have to work on coming back to it. Heather, whatever says it's not a full moon. Yeah, thank God. All right, let me see. Do we have anything from our friends at Rumble? Of course, you'll notice I avoid saying the word. I regret it right now saying it out loud.
What's the word?
I'll quote Jeremy Hamblin of the Quartering. The big green machine, the big green platform that you cannot
Rumble?
say on YouTube or they get very
Oh,
upset.
I see what you're saying. Right.
Anyway, Karen Tav from the big green machine said, let's not forget the true victims of the CIA. Oh, that's funny. Let me do it again. Let's not forget the true victims of this. The CIA who lost control over Reiner's X account.
Yeah, it's and the Moby account. I don't know if Moby's gotten his back, but clearly there was an operation, which is not even that, doesn't even sound that conspiratorial to me, that these celebrities volunteered to give their social media accounts over to the intelligence operatives. Usually they're run by their assistants anyway. So the intelligence people picked up millions and millions and millions of accounts, Eric, through these celebrities.
Yep. All right, here. Oh, good. I answer this. You love it when I answer these on here. Arthur, I guess, Morgan. Timeouts. Wow. Second grade. Can't voice an opinion. Let me explain this to you, Arthur. Same way as you can go to a bar and express your opinion. If you're an asshole, you're going to get thrown out on your ass. If you come into somebody's place and you're just nothing but a shithead who's spewing all kinds of garbage, they might put you in timeout. They might tell you to go by. But you know what? There are a lot of free speech options out there that you can go hang out in. But if you want to come here and be an ass, goodbye. So anyway, one place that people are definitely not asses are on Locals.
Oh yeah, they're pretty nice over there.
They're definitely nice over there, respectful. They think highly of each other, and they might have a disagreement. I go through every Saturday. There's people who disagree with the opinion, everything else, but the cool thing is everybody respects each other and the community.
That's true.
I encourage, if you guys want to, you can always join over there for free, be a member for free. It's even better if you support us, obviously, but you can find out a lot of what's going on for free and check out the materials.
Remember I was talking about that crazy Providence police chief? Turns out that his nephew was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison recently for smuggling fentanyl into Providence.
Really?
You can't make this up.
Wow.
You can't make this up. His nephew was the drug kingpin of Providence. This is the Providence police chief, Colonel Oscar Perez, which I thought was like some sort of South American dictator or something when I saw it. His nephew, Josh Perez, was sentenced to 22.5 years in federal prison for running the largest fentanyl ring, flooding Rhode Island and Providence with fentanyl.
Amazing. All right. Well, we'll continue this discussion about.
Yeah, we'll talk about it over there.
Colonels and the
fentanyl,
rest.
the Colonel, and Colonel Sanders and everything, and Tom Parker.
All at Locals. Link in the description.